welcome back to Hello World, Unit 8, Software Development for Part 1. With me, your Professor Neil, my TA, Young-hee.
Hello, this is TA Young-hee. Today we're gonna go through the software development.
Yes, Young-hee, and what time is it now? It is time to start.
Okay. I just wondering why Professor Neil asked me the strange question when I have no clock.
Because we are running to a schedule.
We are going through the schedule.
Yes, the plan. We are organizing, analyzing what we need to do in order to progress through the course from the beginning to the end.
Oh, just like how we develop the software.
Yes, and that is part of the language and the ideas we will be using in software development.
It's very interesting. I better write down all the processes and time management.
Well, the thing we start with is software development. What does it mean?
Difficult question.
So, we will ask Google.
Google God gonna help us.
Yes, here comes Google. All right, there.
Okay, let me type it.
Okay. It takes a while for the powers of the internet to get into motion. So if you click on the link Google, there we go. And if you type it in, Young-hee, what does software development mean? Say in computer terms. In computer terms, that's probably best. There we go. In computer terms.
Give me the answers, you Google.
So there we go. According to IBM research, software development refers to a set of computer science activities. Oh, okay. Maybe need to pause the video there to read it.
There was sudden changes to.
Yes.
Sorry, Professor. I clicked too quickly.
Okay. So on the left we have the steps in the software development process. Oh, let's go and look at that. The steps. Type that in down here. So steps, process, plan. That's good. We like that. Oh, change that. Project. Okay. See what we have.
This is useful to
software development life cycle. 6 steps: planning, analysis, design, development. Oh, let's look at a nice image for that.
I like image.
So we've got here the software development cycle: planning, analysis, design, implementation, testing, integration, maintenance. These are good words. I think we should use them. I think we should take note of them.
I better write down then.
Well, yes, so that's what we're going to do in software development. And
6 steps.
Yes, we're going to give some idea of them in the warm-up.
Are they sending the rocket launch vehicle?
No, we are just going to warm up with development. So those vocabularies from the software development cycle, there were 6 steps and 7 verbs. So here we have the verbs taken from the software development cycle. We've got plan, analyze, design, implement, test, integrate, maintain.
Plan, analyze, design, implement, test, integrate, and maintain.
So these are some of the words used to describe development. So let's practice using some of these words in our warm-up. And then practice using them further stages to prepare us to talk and write about software development. So we're going to use these in the warm-up stage.
Yes, as we all say all the time, practice makes it perfect.
Yes, so we have the development questions that are in the book and are in the handout. So we have how many questions? 6 questions.
Like 6 steps.
So yes, you can see, like the 6 steps of the cycle, the software development cycle. And the first question that I asked at the beginning of this unit to Young-hee was, what time is it now? Because we're talking about planning.
It's time to plan things.
Yes, plan things. And so question 1, just going to start. What time is it now? You might answer.
It is.
Yes, it is. Or the time now is 10 p.m. It is 8:30 a.m. now. and now it's 12 noon. So this little word in blue, what type of word is it in the sentence?
They are adverbs in the word clause and is adjunct as a sentence element.
Oh, okay, yes. We'll be talking about those sentence elements later in the grammar section, especially these ones related to time and placements in time. But this time is now. So let's use some of those verbs that we mentioned before. What were you doing at this time yesterday? So for example,
I was planning a project. I was analyzing the software. I was designing a computer game.
yeah, so notice here we are using past tense. Our grammar section today looks at verb tense. And so through these questions, we shall be highlighting some verb tenses to you. So this is past tense. And then we have next question. So we'll go through them a little bit quicker now.
Come on, fire up. Fire up.
So
we will need to do another 4 more questions.
yes, and also notice the use of the adjunct for time, which are highlighted in blue. So for example, like today, what was the first thing you did? The thing we've mentioned before about adjuncts is they can jump around in sentences.
Today, you can...
Yeah, today I implemented the rollout. I tested the beta version today. Or you can just leave it out. I analyzed the code.
Professor Neil, do you pronounce it beta or beta?
Beta.
Beta.
Yes.
So in Korean we call it beta.
So, yes, well, pronunciations, there are always options as long as you are understood. So I mentioned how these time adjuncts can jump around. Right? So what are you doing now could also be now what are you doing. If you look at the handout, you'll see the question is what are you doing now? But you can see how you can move that adjunct around. Like now I am analyzing the bug. I'm implementing a fix now. Or optionally leave it out because it's in the question. I am testing the security. So these adjuncts we will look at in more detail in the grammar section. But we are also looking at verb tense here. And in this example, verb tense is talking about the future. So in verb tense, you can talk about the past, the present, and the future. I will integrate the code after this. After this, I will analyze the bug. I'm going to maintain the project. They're all for future tense. And question 6, much the same. Future tense. Okay, and we'll look more at that in the grammar and the reading, and the writing, and the dialogues. Right, that's the end of the warm-up to Unit 8 Software Development. Quite a long warm-up, but we're just highlighting some of the things we're going to be talking about and dealing with later in the unit. And obviously, as usual, we move to the dialogue next.
With Hetty and John.
Yes.
What issues do they have now?
Well, let's go to dialogue 8.1 and find out what issues and what things John and Hetty are dealing with.
Fire the dialogue.
Yes. So as we say, John and Hetty are at the office talking about a project.
The project John was performing from last unit.
Further back, the database project, the migration of the database.
Are they all included to establish a proper interactive website for BB Inc?
So they should have employed their programmers by now, and they are ready to go forward with the project. So just some warm-up questions, why not?
Again, another warm-up.
Dialogue. The whole point of this course is talking about these subjects. So just to warm up, Yonghee, what company would you like to work for?
I'd like to work for the company that gives me very good challenging work and good reward.
Okay, and what are some reasons to work for this company? I was hoping for a company name, but as you said, type of company.
There's one company name I I can give you, Professor Neil. I want to work for the company called Tesla.
Okay, and what are some reasons to work for this company?
One, Tesla is trying to produce very interesting high-tech product.
And two?
And two, they will be able to send me to the Mars.
Yes, okay. Well, yes, that's why our rockets are here. That's a good reason as any. Okay, everything is in development. Everything is in development.
So I can be involved as the team member. That is quite rewarding to me.
Then probably you want to work for SpaceX rather than Tesla.
Oh, yes, SpaceX.
Yes. Okay, well, good thoughts. Work for Tesla and maybe go to Mars. All right, so in our dialogue, they talk about the project, schedule, date, time, and plan. So, because that's our software development style, that is why we're just highlighting some of the things they'll talk about in the dialogue.
So I have to write down these things by focusing, listening.
Yes, so let's go listen to Hedy and John, dialogue 8.1 in the office. Here we go.
Good morning, John.
Morning, Hedy.
How's the project going?
It is going well. The programmers are working hard.
Are they on schedule?
Yes, they will finish by the 21st.
Awesome. Are you following the coding standards?
Of course. The code will be efficient, clean, and error-free.
That is important. You will not want any bugs.
No, or we will not finish on time.
Sounds like you have it all under control. Good job.
Thanks, Hedy. I will see you later for coffee. Well, they said that.
That's very intensive conversation.
Yes, the project will finish on the 21st on time. So when you're saying on the 21st, you mean the project will finish on the 21st of that month.
Bang on.
Bang on time. On time means not late, not early, exactly on time.
Bang on.
And the plan follows the coding standards. So Yonghee, what are the coding standards?
Coding standards has three mandatories. First, efficient and clean and error-free.
Yes. So the coding standards are that the code will be efficient, clean, and error-free. The coding standards are that the code will be efficient, clean, and error-free. All right, very good, Yonghee. All right, so are we happy with that? Do we?
Yeah, of course, because that's why in the end, after designing the code, putting the code in a clean way, you always have to go through a debug test.
Ooh, okay, sounds good.
Debugging, yeah. That's why we always do debugging.
Yeah, so you have to analyze the code, all right, to make sure you have no bugs. That's good. All right. So, Hello World 8.1. Well, we'll just do one more reading with the dialogue there.
To make sure for us to practice and master the vocabulary.
And avoid any bugs. All right, so you read Hedy, Yonghee, and I'll read John.
Good morning, John.
Morning, Hedy.
How's the project going?
It's going well. The programmers are working hard.
Are they on schedule?
Yes, they will finish by the 21st.
Awesome. Are you following the coding standards?
Of course, the code will be efficient, clean, and error-free.
That is important. You will not want any bugs.
No, or we will not finish on time.
Sounds like you have it all under control. Good job.
Thanks, Hedy. I will see you later for coffee. One thing is that little word, schedule. So Hedy said, are you on schedule? But I used to say schedule.
British people translate the word very interestingly.
Yes, so when I lived in England, I said schedule. Now that I've lived in Korea, I say schedule.
So are we going through the debugging process?
I've gone through a debugging process with my English. So question, but Youngie's already done this, but we can try this again. What are the coding standards?
There are 3 mandates for coding standards: efficient, clean, and error-free.
Code. Okay, that's good. The code should be efficient, clean, and error-free. So we've emphasized the coding standards because John and Hedy were talking about the project, and we just want to emphasize what their plan is. Okay, so moving on to reading 8.1, because we still got quite a lot to get through.
Because we had a lot of warm-up.
We did have a lot of warm-up today, probably a bit too much warm-up, but you can always, if the warm-up wasn't of much use to you, you can always jettison some of the parts later. Oh, kind of appropriate for the reading 8.1.
Send it off.
Yes, to jettison the unnecessary parts. Lose the weight. So, in this section, software development and the process, we have as the reading. So, as usual, reading center. Reading 8.1, I shall read. As stated by IBM Research, software development refers to a set of computer science activities dedicated to the process of writing, creating, designing, managing, and supporting software. Software development is done by programmers, software engineers, and software developers. They each perform different but overlapping roles. Programmers write code to program computers for particular tasks. Software engineers design software and systems. Software developers manage the development process, conduct software testing, and carry out maintenance. So here the main verbs have been highlighted in red. The one auxiliary verb is highlighted in pink. So Youngie, are you ready to answer some questions about our reading?
Yeah.
Okay, we have 3 questions as usual. So about software development and the process and the roles. There we go, good. So reading 8.1. First question, what activities are part of software development?
Writing, creating, designing, managing, and supporting software.
Who is involved in software development?
Programmers, software engineers, and software developers.
And what are their roles?
Programmers write code to program computers. Software engineers design software and systems. And software developers manage the development process and conduct software testing, plus carrying out maintenance.
Okay, some nice technical grammar there by Younghee. That was pretty well.
Did I have a good grammar?
Yes, it was quite good.
Thank you. I'm improving over time.
Yes.
Practice.
So yes, as our material for software development and the process take us through the unit, you can start to feel that the material that we now cover in the course is obviously a bit more technical than in previous units. So I hope you are still with us at this stage as we move into the vocabulary as usual and our letters and words take shape.
Voca world.
Voca world, yes. So, according to Facundo Molina of Bears Dev, there are 10 roles in software development.
Facundo Molina, very
Yes.
Spanish name.
So we have web development, mobile development, cloud computing, DevOps engineering, full stack development, desktop development, security engineering, front-end development, back-end development, and database development. If you bought the book, database development was missing from that list, so you might want to add it to the list. Alright, so those are the 10 roles in software development. So the next thing to do, as usual, is to match them with the definitions. Okay, so here we have our definitions. Let's bring them up. There we go. And each definition is for one of the roles in software development. So let's have our wizard fire them up. Come on, wizard. Couple more. Thank you. There we go. So Yonghee is now going to read the answers for you.
Ooh.
Okay. Out
So
the
it's my fish time, Prophet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So number 1.
Front end work on the UI user interface.
Wait, Yonghee, you have to say the full term. So not just front end, you have to say front end development. Okay, and number 2?
Number 2, back-end development to build the infrastructure that powers a website or application.
Okay, and number 3?
Full stack development, develop both the front end and back end of a project. And number 4, desktop development, work on applications that run on the desktop. 5, web development, create and design web applications. 6, database development, build, modify, and design databases. 7, mobile development, to work on apps that run on mobile devices. 8, cloud development, develop apps that can be accessed remotely. 9, DevOps engineering, deliver quick, efficient, customer-centric software. Finally, 10, security development, ensure the software is secure from cyber criminals.
Security development would be okay. The one in the book is security engineering, but both would be acceptable in writing tests or in spoken circles. So that's good. Alright, we've covered the vocabulary. Now we've got to cover the grammar. So we're probably going to pass our 25-minute limit for this video, but that's okay. That's where we go. Vocabulary will obviously come up again in the practice section. Grammar. Alright, grammar.
C'est la vie.
Let's go somewhere no human has ever been before. Well, of course.
That would be great, Professor Neil.
Verb tenses.
That's my dream, dream.
Verb tenses. So verb tenses, let's just run through them. The predicate. The predicate and the adjunct. Oh, sounds like a sort of fairy tale. But the sentence uses the predicate with an adjunct, i.e. adverbs or prepositional phrases, to say when or how something happens. We've covered this before in the last unit. Okay, I implemented the rollout this morning is when. I implemented the rollout quickly is how it happened. So as we will point out, the predicate takes verb tense, while the time adjunct adds extra time information to the sentence. So, I implemented, verb tense there is with the ed, the rollout this morning, the time adjunct. I implemented ed, the rollout quickly. Quickly, though, is not time information, but more about how something is done. But still, there is verb tense. Verb tenses with the predicate work to show past, present, or future time and can work together with the time adjunct as shown below. The meeting began on the 21st. So began is in past tense. The project started yesterday. Started is in past tense. Yesterday helps give it more specific information. The reason for these differences between started and began is one verb is regular and ends in ed. One verb is irregular and has no ed and has various forms that you have to practice and learn and memorize. Youngie, how do you know if a verb is regular or irregular?
Look up the dictionary.
That's pretty much the only choice. You have to ask someone or look it up in the dictionary and then memorize it. There really is no clue in English to if a verb is regular or irregular. And
Professor Neil learned those irregular verbs from his parents and teachers in UK while he was growing up, since the age of 2 to still now.
Okay. Thanks, Yogi. But yes, I had to look them up in the dictionary as a young person. Sadly, if you're learning English, you have to look them up in the dictionary too. A predicate can be used to say if something happened in the past, present, or future. So past, the code was clean and efficient. Present, the code is clean and efficient. Future, the code will be clean and efficient.
Really should be pink, Professor Neil.
Oh. Why should it be pink, Youngie? Why should it?
Because it's auxiliary verb, assisting verb, help verb.
So let's, as Youngie said, we will change the will to pink because it's an auxiliary verb. So there, our will is now in pink because it is an auxiliary verb.
For future tense marker.
Time adjuncts, in particular, is used to add more detailed information about the time. So past, the software will be installed. The software was installed 10 minutes ago. Present, the code is installing now. Future, the code will install in the evening at 9 p.m. And notice those pink auxiliary verbs and those red main verbs with tense. So last thing to say about this, and then we move on to practice. Verb tenses. The verbs in the predicate can change their written, spoken style to express different tenses. When something happened, when something happens, or when something will happen. And we're going to look at that in practice of the verb tenses of grammar 8.1 in the practice section. So you've become quite good at the practice, and we see this in the homework every week. We've made a lot of good progress, and we will continue to look at the window of practice.
I really want to be able to travel on the spaceship.
Yeah, I held that for a moment because it's quite a nice window. Alright, so we learned the verb tenses, hopefully, and now we're ready to practice them. Rewrite the software development role definitions from the vocabulary in past, present, and future by changing verb tenses. Also, add your own time adjunct to provide more detailed information. You will see this in the the handout and in the book as your option. So let's look at it. So we've had the vocabulary from before. We've had the development definitions. Now we want to use them to practice verb tenses. It's quite a lot to ask of you. But in the homework, I'm only asking you to write past tense. So how much you practice it is up to you. So in the homework, I'm only interested in you in writing the sentences in past tense. Past. Front-end development worked on the UI yesterday. The time adjuncts should be the ones of your own choice. So as it says, for the practice section, which is part of the homework, complete the software development role definitions in past, present, future tense with time adjuncts. In the homework, you only have to write the past sentences. So thank you, as always, for joining us for the first part of our
Software
Development
Part 1.
Part 1. Thank you to our wizard.
And we finished. Clap, clap, clap.
Yep. So he's saying bye.
We say bye too.
Yes.
See you after the break.
Well, yes, it should come up here. That is the end of part 1. And as Yonghee said, we will see you after the break. Thank you very much for joining us in Unit 8 Software Development Part 1. It has been our pleasure. And we look forward to seeing you in part 2. So bye.
Bye.